reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory be to you, O Lord, glory be to you.
Let us be attentive. The Lord said, when the Son of Man comes in his glory, escorted by all the angels of heaven, he will sit upon his royal throne, and all the nations will be assembled before him. Then he will separate them into two groups, as a shepherd separates sheep from goats. The sheep he will place on his right hand, the goats on his left. The king will say to those on his right, "Come, you have my Father's blessing. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. Naked, and you clothed me. I was ill, and you comforted me. In prison, and you came to visit me." Then the just will ask him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or see you thirsty and give you drink? When did we welcome you away from home or clothe you in your nakedness? When did we visit you when you were ill or in prison?" The king will answer them, "I assure you, as often as you did it for one of my least brothers, you did it for me." Then he will say to those on his left, "Out of my sight, you condemned, into that everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels. I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was away from home, and you gave me no welcome. Naked, and you gave me no clothing. I was ill and in prison, and you did not come to comfort me." Then they in turn will ask him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or away from home, or naked or ill, or in prison, and not attend you in your needs?" He will answer them, "I assure you, as often as you neglected to do it to one of these least ones, you neglected to do it to me. These will go off to eternal punishment, and the just to eternal life."
Glory be to you, O Lord, glory be to you.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Slava Isusu Christu. My dear brothers and sisters, there is a separation in today's gospel, just and unjust people. Justice in our mind, and this is true, is always connected to the law. We are just according to the law, and law, that word, is playing really important role also in the Old Testament. Yes, it's true, in New Testament we often speak about grace. We discuss the questions of the gifts of the Holy Spirit, but law has not disappeared. It's there too. But when we think of law, we often think of those rules that are part of our daily routine when we live in a state society. There were many different ways to describe law. For ancient Greeks, it was often something that kept the world together. The world was always endangered by chaos, and law was there to keep that world safe. Then, in the modern kind of age, the philosophers were thinking about law in the terms of state that is more important than one human being. Law was issued in order to protect the governors, elites in the societies. And actually, in Christianity from the beginning, the understanding was that law is there to protect humans. We think that this is self-evident because our lawyers now and lawmakers are telling us that every law they try to produce is for us to be safe, for our own protection. But we also know, we are smart people, that this is not always the case, or doesn't matter what they say, it's usually not the case. In case of our Christian law, we see every time that that law is given to us to protect us from harm inflicted by sin. And I think this parable today is a wonderful example for that. That law cannot be twisted. That law cannot be used against us. There is no smart lawyer that can deprive us of law, of God's mercy. Everything that happens in today's parable happens not because there is a good advocate or lawyer that will defend or condemn us. This is all because of our choices. And those choices are simple and clear. Jesus is presenting himself in today's parable as a judge, just judge, but he is not sitting there making interpretations of law not in our unfavor. He is one who is just making the statement how our lives were, how we guided our lives, what we did to the other people. So that law, as we see, was given to protect others too, because this is the law of mercy, but us too, because this is the law that is guiding us to life eternal. I think one of the examples that came to my mind was the example of St. Alphonsus, the founder of the Redemptorist community. He was a lawyer in southern Italy in the 18th century. A really bright lawyer who knew how to conduct all those court processes, and at one point he was sure that the law is on his side. He made all the arrangements and was sure that he will win the case. But then not even a smarter lawyer faced him, but just some weird kind of strange interpretations of the law made that he has lost that case and injustice was done to his defendant. And in that moment he realizes that the human law is not really a just law. That with that law you cannot protect humans. Therefore he quit his lawyer career and became a priest. Because for him it was clear that the law of the Lord is the only one that is just, and there is no misinterpretations. So, looking at today's parable, let us also take that law into our hearts. God is giving us a simple way to the kingdom of heaven. He is not trying to to put the stumble stones on our way. He is not trying to deprive us of that kingdom of heaven. He is helping us to build the connectionship with Him and with other people. Because in today's picture of the Last Judgment, it's all about those others and the God. We can stay on His right hand because He wants us to be there. But there is also a question, are we willing to do everything to be on that right hand of our Father? Are we willing to really embrace the law of Christ as the law of mercy and witness that mercy and minister that mercy to other people who are in need of that? I'm sure you are, because otherwise what would you be here today? So let us with joy face and embrace that law of Christ that was given to us for our protection. Let us embrace that law of Christ because it was given for our joy. This was given for us to be embraced in the kingdom of heaven. We prepare for Great Lent, and Great Lent is a special time when we going the way with Jesus, first of all the way of his suffering and passion, but also ultimately the way of his resurrection. Jesus is telling us that the law that was given to us is the law of life. Even though sometimes it's hard to implement, but at the same time, this is the only way when we attend to the needs of our neighbors, the needs to the disfortunate, the least ones. This is the only way to enter with him in his kingdom and life eternal. Amen.